The mining station Beta 7 floated quietly in the darkness of space. Inside, Captain Mark stood on the bridge of the human cargo ship Iron Hand. His crew was busy loading rare minerals from the station. Everything seemed normal until the communication officer, Tom, suddenly jumped from his seat. "Captain, we have an emergency signal," Tom said, his fingers moving quickly over the control panel. Mark walked over to check the screen. The message was weak but clear. It was an SOS signal coming from a planet 3 light-years away. The signal used universal distress codes that all space-traveling species understood. "Play the message," Mark ordered. A shaking voice filled the bridge. The translation software worked hard to convert the alien language. "This is the peaceful colony of New Haven. We are under attack by the Swarm Empire. They have destroyed our defense ships. Our shields will fail in 2 days. Please, any ship that receives this message, we need help. We have children here. We have families, please." The message ended with static noise. Mark looked at his crew. The Iron Hand was just a cargo ship with basic weapons. They couldn't fight the Swarm Empire. Everyone knew about the Swarm. They were insects that moved like locusts through space, taking everything and leaving nothing behind. "Sir, we should report this to Earth Command," said Lisa, the navigation officer. Mark nodded. "Send the message immediately. Use the emergency channel." While they waited, Mark studied the star map. New Haven was a small agricultural world. The database showed it belonged to the Kalari species, peaceful traders who grew food for half the galaxy. They had no military. They were farmers and scientists. 20 minutes later, Earth Command responded. But the response wasn't what Mark expected. "Captain Mark, this is Admiral Johnson. We received your report. The situation is more serious than you know. The Swarm isn't just attacking New Haven. They're moving toward Earth's territory. We've been tracking them for weeks." Mark felt his blood run cold. "What are your orders, Admiral?" "Stay where you are. Do not approach New Haven. We're sending help, but not the kind you'd expect." "Sir?" Mark asked, confused. The Admiral's voice became darker. 3 hours ago, we activated Protocol 7. The Predator fleet is already on its way." Everyone on the bridge became silent. The Predator fleet was humanity's secret weapon. These weren't normal military ships. They were something else entirely. Something that most humans hoped would never be used. Tom whispered, "I thought the Predator fleet was just a myth." "No," Mark said quietly. "They're real. I saw them once during the Mars Rebellion. Just 3 of their ships destroyed an entire enemy fleet in minutes." Lisa checked her instruments. "Captain, I'm detecting massive energy signatures approaching New Haven. They're moving faster than anything I've ever seen." "How many ships?" Mark asked. 50. No, wait. 100. "Captain, there are over 200 ships approaching at impossible speeds." The Admiral's voice returned. "Captain Mark, you're about to witness why humanity survived in this galaxy. The Swarm made a mistake. They threatened innocent lives near our space. They're about to learn why other species call us the warrior angels. We protect those who cannot protect themselves, but we do it with extreme force." Mark turned to his crew. "Prepare the ship. Set course for New Haven, but keep us at a safe distance. I want to record everything. Sir, is that wise?" Tom asked. "The galaxy needs to see this," Mark replied. "They need to understand that humans aren't just traders and explorers. When someone attacks the innocent, when someone threatens peace, we become something else. We become predators protecting the pack." The Iron Hand jumped to hyperspace. In 2 hours, they would reach New Haven. The Swarm had no idea what was coming for them. They thought they were attacking helpless farmers. Instead, they had awakened humanity's most dangerous nature, the instinct to protect others. no matter the cost. The Predator fleet was coming, and space itself seemed to shiver in fear. Asterisk, the Iron Hand dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the New Haven system. What Captain Mark saw made his heart sink. The planet below was surrounded by thousands of swarm ships. They looked like metal wasps, black and sharp, firing green energy beams at the planet's failing shields. "My God," Lisa whispered. "There must be 5,000 ships down there." The planet's shields flickered like a dying light bulb. Each hit made them weaker. Mark could see cities burning through the gaps in the shield. The Kalari were sending desperate messages on all channels, begging for help that wasn't coming. "Captain, we should leave," Tom said nervously. "We can't help them." Before Mark could answer, space itself seemed to tear open behind them. The first Predator ship arrived. It was massive, 5 times bigger than any battleship Mark had ever seen. It was painted pure black with red stripes like blood. The ship looked like a giant sword pointed at the enemy. Then came another, and another. Within seconds, 200 Predator ships filled the space around them. Each one was different, but equally terrifying. Some looked like giant hawks with metal wings. Others resembled sharks with countless weapon ports. A few looked like massive wolves, ready to hunt out the lead ship, transmitted a message on an open channel. The voice was cold and professional. "This is Commander Rex of the Earth Predator Fleet. Swarm Empire, you have 30 seconds to stop your attack and surrender. This is your only warning." The swarm's response came quickly. Their leader appeared on screen, a giant insect with multiple eyes and clicking mandibles. "Humans, this is not your fight. Leave now or be destroyed. We are the swarm. We are millions. You are nothing." Commander Rex's voice didn't change. Time's up. What happened next would be remembered in galactic history forever. The Predator ships didn't attack like normal fleets. They moved like living creatures, like a pack of wolves hunting prey. The first wave hit the swarm's outer ships with weapons Mark had never seen before. Blue lightning jumped from ship to ship, turning swarm vessels into dust in seconds. The swarm tried to respond, firing thousands of missiles and energy beams. But the Predator ships had shields unlike anything in known space. The attacks just bounced off like rain on steel. "Captain, I'm reading something strange," Lisa said, staring at her scanner. "The Predator ships. They're using AI combat systems, but there's something else. The ships are connected, like a hive mind, but different." Mark understood. They're hunting together. Like ancient human hunters worked in groups to take down bigger prey. The second wave of Predator ships moved in. These were smaller, faster. They danced through space, appearing and disappearing, hitting swarm ships from impossible angles. Each shot was perfect, targeting engines and weapons. They weren't just destroying the swarm. They were taking them apart piece by piece. The swarm leader's voice returned, but now it sounded afraid. "Wait, we can discuss terms. We will leave." Commander Rex responded immediately. "You had your chance for mercy. You threatened children. You attacked the defenseless. Now you face humanity's justice." The final wave of Predator ships moved forward. These were the biggest ones. They opened panels on their hulls, revealing weapons that made space itself bend around them. When they fired, entire sections of the swarm fleet simply disappeared. Not destroyed, just gone, as if they never existed. Within 20 minutes, 5,000 swarm ships had become floating scrap metal. Not a single Predator ship was damaged. Not one human life was lost. The Kalari were sending new messages now, not distress calls, but prayers of thanks. Their children were singing songs about the Sky Warriors, who came to save them. Commander Rex's ship moved toward the planet. "People of New Haven, you are safe now. Medical ships are coming to help your wounded. Food and supplies will arrive within hours. This is what humanity does. We protect. We defend. We hunt those who hunt the innocent. Mark's communication panel lit up. It was a private message from Commander Rex. Captain Mark, thank you for sending the distress signal. You did the right thing. Commander, this was incredible, Mark replied. No, Captain. This was necessary. The galaxy must learn. Attacking the defenseless is declaring war on humanity itself. 3 days after the battle, the galaxy was in shock. Videos of the Predator fleet destroying the swarm spread across every network. Some species were terrified. Others were amazed. But the most interesting reactions came from the survivors on New Haven. Captain Mark had landed on the planet to help with relief efforts. The main city was damaged, but standing. Kalari families walked through the streets, their blue skin shining in the sunlight. Their children played in parks that just days ago were under attack. Mark met with Elder John, the human ambassador who had lived on New Haven for 10 years. They sat in a damaged cafe that was already being rebuilt. I've never seen anything like it, John said, sipping his coffee. The Predator fleet didn't just save them. They've started something bigger. What do you mean? Mark asked. John pointed to the street. A group of young Kalari were training with human Marines, learning basic defense moves. Every species in the galaxy just learned that humans will protect anyone who needs help. Do you know how many distress signals Earth received in the last 2 days? Over 300. Mark was surprised. 300? From who? Small colonies, peaceful traders, research stations, all asking for protection from raiders and pirates. The Galactic Council is in emergency session right now. Before Mark could respond, his communicator buzzed. It was Commander Rex requesting a meeting. Within an hour, Mark stood on the bridge of the Predator flagship Wolf's Fang. Commander Rex was younger than Mark expected, with gray eyes that seemed to see everything. The bridge crew moved with perfect coordination, like dancers who knew every step. Captain Mark, Rex said, shaking his hand. I wanted to thank you personally. Your quick action saved millions of lives. Commander, can I ask you something? Mark said, the Predator fleet, where did it come from? How long has Earth been hiding this power? Rex smiled slightly. We're not hidden, Captain. We're selective. The Predator fleet was created 50 years ago after the colony on Mars was attacked. Earth's leaders realized that being peaceful wasn't enough. Sometimes you need to be the bigger predator to protect the herd. But the technology, the weapons. Humans are creative when motivated, Rex explained. Every ship in this fleet was designed with one purpose, to be so powerful, so terrifying, that enemies would think twice before attacking anyone under our protection. A young officer approached them. Commander, we have a situation. On the main screen, a massive fleet appeared. But these weren't enemy ships. They were from dozens of different species, traders, scientists, farmers, all peaceful, all defenseless, and all heading toward Earth. What are they doing? Mark asked. Rex studied the screen. They're seeking protection. The destruction of the swarm showed them that humanity is the guardian they've been looking for. Another message came through, this time from the Galactic Council itself. The Council President, an ancient being from the first species, appeared on screen. Commander Rex, the Council has voted. We offer humanity a new position, protector of the peace. Your fleet will have authority to respond to any attack on peaceful worlds. In return, the Council will share technology and resources. Rex looked at Mark, then back at the screen. We accept, but with conditions. First, we protect everyone equally. No politics, no favorites. Second, any species can join the Predator fleet if they pledge to follow our code. Third, we answer distress calls first, ask permission later. The president nodded slowly. Agreed, but we have one question. Why do humans fight so hard for others? Your species is young, yet you act like ancient guardians. Rex's answer was simple but powerful. Because we remember being helpless. Every human child learns about times when we couldn't protect ourselves. From nature, from disasters, from each other. We learned that the strong must protect the weak, or everyone falls. That's not just our military code. It's who we are. The bridge was quiet for a moment. Then, one by one, confirmations came in. The Kalari offered their best pilots. The Zenith shared their shield technology. Even the mysterious Void Walkers, who rarely spoke to anyone, offered their stealth systems. Commander, the officer reported, we're receiving applications to join the Predator fleet. Thousands of them. From every corner of the galaxy, Rex turned to Mark. Captain, how would you like a new job? We're going to need good leaders for all these new protectors. Mark looked at the stars, at the gathering fleet of peaceful species seeking safety, and at the Predator ships standing guard like metal wolves. When do I start? 6 months had passed since the Predator fleet saved New Haven. The galaxy had changed. Pirates disappeared from trade routes. Raiders stopped attacking colonies. The mere rumor of Predator ships in a system was enough to prevent violence. Captain Mark, now commanding his own Predator vessel called Silent Guardian, patrolled the Outer Rim territories. His crew was mixed, humans, Kalari, and even a few reformed swarm soldiers who had abandoned their empire. Captain, we're receiving a coded message, said Alex, his new communication officer. It's from Commander Rex, Priority 1. Mark read the message, and his face became serious. Set course for the Shadow Nebula. Maximum speed. The Shadow Nebula was a dark region of space where sensors didn't work properly. It was the perfect hiding place for criminals. When they arrived, Mark found 50 Predator ships already assembled. Commander Rex's flagship was in the center. The briefing room was full of captains from across the fleet. Rex stood at the front, his face grim. We have a problem, Rex began. The Swarm Empire didn't disappear. They've been rebuilding in secret. But worse, they've made an alliance with the Dark Merchants. Everyone knew about the Dark Merchants. They sold weapons to anyone, traded in slaves, and had technology from civilizations that no longer existed. They were untouchable because they operated outside any government's reach. Our spies report they're planning something big, Rex continued. They call it the Final Hunt. They want to destroy the Predator fleet and prove that humanity can be beaten. Captain Rose, commanding the Thunderstrike, spoke up. How many ships are we talking about? 20,000 swarm vessels and 500 Dark Merchant warships. They've also hired mercenaries from species we've never encountered. The room was silent. Those numbers were impossible. Even the Predator fleet couldn't fight such odds. But we have advantages, Rex said. First, we know when and where they plan to attack. The Peace Summit on Haven Prime next week. Leaders from 50 peaceful species will be there. Second, we're not alone anymore. The screen showed allied forces. The Kalari had built their own defense fleet. The Zenith provided advanced shields. Even the ancient First Species had sent their legendary crystal ships to help. This won't be like New Haven, Rex warned. This will be war. Real war. Some of us won't come back. But if we fail, the galaxy returns to chaos. The weak will have no protectors. Mark stood up. Commander, my crew volunteers for the vanguard position. One by one, every captain stood and volunteered. Rex nodded proudly. Then we prepare. We have 5 days. Those 5 days were intense. New weapons were installed. Ships were painted with war symbols from Earth's history. The crew trained day and night. Mark noticed something interesting. The alien crew members were practicing human military traditions, learning war cries and battle songs. On the fourth day, something unexpected happened. A single swarm ship approached under a white flag. The pilot was young, barely an adult by swarm standards. "My name is Carl," the young swarm said through the translator. "I represent 2,000 swarm ships that refuse to follow the Empire. We've seen what you did at New Haven. You could have destroyed our entire species, but you only fought those who attacked. We want to join you." It was a risk, but Rex accepted. The defector swarm ships were given positions in the fleet. Carl was assigned to Mark's ship as a tactical advisor. "Why betray your own kind?" Mark asked Carl privately. "Because I have children," Carl replied simply. "I want them to grow up in a galaxy where the strong protect the weak, not eat them. That's the galaxy humanity is building." On the fifth day, as they prepared to leave for Haven Prime, Mark received a personal message. It was from his daughter on Earth, now training to join the Predator fleet herself. "Dad, I'm proud of you. Everyone here is watching. The whole planet is praying for the fleet. Show them what humans do when evil threatens the innocent. Show them why we're called humanity." Mark smiled and looked at his mixed-species crew. They weren't just fighting for humanity anymore. They were fighting for the idea that anyone, regardless of species or strength, deserved protection and peace. "All ships, this is Commander Rex." The fleet-wide communication began. "Today, we don't fight for conquest or glory. We fight for every child who sleeps safely because we stand watch. We fight for every peaceful world that trusts us. We are the Predator fleet. We are the Guardians. And today, we hunt." The fleet jumped to hyperspace, ready for the greatest battle in galactic history. Asterisk. The Peace Summit at Haven Prime was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it became the stage for the greatest space battle ever witnessed. When the Predator fleet arrived, they found exactly what their intelligence had predicted: a massive ambush waiting. 20,000 swarm ships surrounded the planet. Dark merchant vessels hung back, their strange weapons charging. The peaceful delegates on the planet below were trapped, their ships unable to leave. "All ships, formation Wolf Pack," Commander Rex ordered. The Predator fleet spread out like a net. Mark's silent guardian took point with the other Vanguard ships. Behind them, the defector swarm ships led by Carl formed a second line. The Allied fleets, Kaleri, Zenith, and others created the third wave. The enemy commander appeared on screen, a massive swarm queen, 3 times the size of any they'd seen before. Beside her stood a figure in shadows, presumably a dark merchant leader. "Humans," the queen hissed. "Today you learned that even predators can become prey." Attack! The space around Haven Prime exploded into chaos. Thousands of green energy beams filled the void. Missiles crossed paths like deadly fireworks. The dark merchants fired weapons that bent reality itself, creating black holes that ate ships whole. But the Predator fleet was ready. "Execute hammer and anvil," Rex commanded. The fleet split into 2 forces. One group, led by Rex, charged straight at the enemy. The other, led by Mark, disappeared into hyperspace. The enemy laughed, thinking half the fleet was retreating. They were wrong. Mark's force reappeared behind the enemy lines. They had used a new technology, microjumps that allowed precise hyperspace travel within a battle. The swarm found themselves caught between 2 walls of death. "Fire everything!" Mark shouted that the Predator ships unleashed weapons that humanity had hoped never to use. Antimatter cannons that erased matter from existence. Quantum torpedoes that phased through shields. Gravity bombs that crushed ships into balls of metal. But the enemy had numbers. For every swarm ship destroyed, 10 more appeared. The dark merchants revealed their trap. They had brought a planet killer, a weapon banned by every civilized species. They're targeting Haven Prime. Lisa shouted, "If that weapon fires, the whole planet dies." Mark made a decision that would be remembered forever. "All Vanguard ships follow me. We're going straight through." 15 Predator ships, including the Silent Guardian, charged directly at the planet killer. They flew through walls of enemy fire. Ships exploded around them. The lightning claw vanished in a ball of flame. The steel heart broke in half, but kept firing even as it died. Carl, the young swarm defector, suddenly stood. "Captain, I know that weapon. My people built it. I can disable it, but I need to get inside." "That's suicide," Mark said. "No," Carl replied. "That's redemption." Mark nodded and changed course. The Silent Guardian smashed through enemy lines, its shields failing, its hull burning. They reached the planet killer just as it began to charge its main weapon. Carl and a team of volunteers transported over. Through the view screen, Mark watched them fight through corridors of enemy soldiers. Carl reached the core and began working on the controls. "I can't disable it," Carl's voice came through the comm. "But I can change its target." "Where?" Mark asked. "The Swarm Queen's command ship." The planet killer fired, but instead of hitting Haven Prime, the beam struck the Swarm Fleet's center. The Queen's massive ship, along with 5,000 others, simply ceased to exist. The psychological blow was immediate. Swarm ships began retreating in panic, but Carl and his team never made it back. The Dark Merchants, seeing the battle turn, revealed their final card. A fleet of ancient AI ships, technology from a dead civilization, appeared from nowhere. These ships adapted to every weapon, learned from every tactic, and something unexpected happened. Earth's final secret arrived. A single ship, smaller than any Predator vessel, emerged from hyperspace. It carried humanity's most dangerous weapon, not a gun or bomb, but an AI of their own. They called it Adam, the first true artificial intelligence created by humans. Adam spoke through every speaker in the system. "Ancient A is, I offer you a choice. Join us in protecting life, or be deleted from existence. You have 10 seconds to decide." The Ancient A is calculated odds, analyzed outcomes, and made their choice. They turned on the Dark Merchants, destroying them in seconds. The battle was over. Haven Prime was saved. The Swarm Empire was broken forever. The Dark Merchants were gone. As the dust settled, the galaxy witnessed something remarkable. The Predator fleet didn't celebrate their victory. Instead, they immediately began rescue operations, saving survivors from both sides. Even former enemies were giving medical aid. "Commander," Rex broadcast a message to the entire galaxy. "Let this be the last such battle. We offer amnesty to any who lay down arms. Join us in protecting peace, or face us in war. The choice is yours. But know this, humanity and our allies will always stand between evil and the innocent. We are the Predator fleet. We are the Guardians. And now we are legend." The galaxy had changed forever. The age of raiders and conquerors was ending. The age of protectors had begun. Asterisk.